Never a dull moment in Knicks fans, man. Never a dull moment, man.
Never a dull moment, man. Now we're back on a 4-game winning streak. Look at that.
Look at us. We back. It's interesting. I want to know the temperature of the chat tonight and the temperature of the callers tonight. Did this game put you in the don't get Giannis camp, or did this one say, hey, hopefully Milwaukee's watching and they're excited?
You know what's funny? Mikal said, I ain't going to Portland. Portland's like, sir, we will actually trade you for him right now after these 2 games.
Yeah,
right?
How's
Let's
Portland
go get him.
thinking today? But yeah, man, very interesting game going into this. You had the storylines coming into this. No Deuce McBride, no Mitchell Robinson, both on ankle load management. You had Josh Hart also questionable for this game with ankle management. Clyde saying in the telecast that Hart could barely walk after yesterday's win against the Kings. So give credit to Hart for getting gritty. You also had Captain Clutch, Jalen Brunson, coming into this game with an illness, and he really didn't have much of a game. You could tell that whatever he was dealing with might have been bothering him. It was a slow night for Jalen Brunson, a slow night for Karl-Anthony Towns. Both guys combined 21 points, 8 of 24 from the field. But for me, the game changed. My turning point of the game, third quarter. Knicks came into that third quarter down by 4. And it was Josh Hart for me, man, that really set a tone. The energy and the effort had to pick up. He gets a steal. This is after the Raptors go on their own 7-0 run in that third quarter. Josh Hart gets a steal in a sequence, draws an offensive foul, and from that moment on, Wingstop just erupted. You had 14 points in that third quarter from Mikal Bridges. He would finish with a team high of 30. 26 points for the dog, OG Anunoby, including 6 in that third quarter, and Josh Hart just doing anything that he could to get his team the victory tonight. You could tell they finally got their legs in that third quarter and spirited play to finish the game. They finished strong.
Yeah, I know you're talking about Josh Hart being the catalyst in that third quarter, although, I mean, look, CP, there was a lot of guys who were instrumental in this win tonight, all to varying degrees, but I got to give a lot of kudos to OG Anunoby, man, because the way that he started off this game, we were searching for answers, okay?
Yeah.
You didn't have Karl-Anthony Towns, you didn't have Jalen Brunson, as you mentioned. These guys were just awful from the field tonight. But who was the guy that was matching that energy of the Toronto Raptors, getting downhill, playing physical? OG Anunoby, man. So you got to give kudos to him. And on top of the defense that he was playing, man, they got the wings out there. You got B.I., you got Scotty Barnes. So, OG going back home. He was up for the task to go guard the top wings who are doing a good job out in T-Dot. So with OG and his performance tonight, man, I don't know. I like you saying start with Josh Hart. I'm staying with start with OG, man. Somebody's got to be the ignition for this thing, and OG was certainly that. And then you talk about Hart with the third quarter. Then Mikal Bridges, man, he was just instrumental all night long. You know? And honestly, I mean, there's a lot of guys who are instrumental in this game, and I got to give it to Kolek coming off the bench, man. Hasn't played in a minute. You're looking for a connector. CP, this man played 20 minutes. 20.
Yep.
Had 10 assists.
Great tonight. Tyler was great tonight and much needed. And Mikal's my play of the game. I just said that I felt like Josh is changing the tempo of that third when the Raptors were making their run. You mentioned B.I., and he was fantastic again for the Raptors. He's got that catapult slingshot type of shot that's just unblockable. It's almost like what they saw in DeRozan the previous night, where it's like when those guys get to their spots and they just rise up over you, you just have to pray for a miss. But I just felt like that steal from Josh in that third quarter, and then he drew the charge after the Raptors made that run. It kind of started the Knicks off on kind of seizing that momentum. But how about Mikal Bridges, ladies and gentlemen, as we reset to the top of the show? Trade who? Mikal Bridges, 30 points, 4 assists, 3 for 3 from free throws. Sorry, 2 for 2. Sorry, 2 free throws. 2 free throws. So that was an error on our part. But 12 of 15 from the field for Mikal Bridges tonight, our player of the game, and the much maligned Bridges. Al, trade talk, slow week. He was kind of cold. If we had to do a franchise forecast, he was coming in kind of cold. But after that Philly debacle, he's bounced back strong. 18 points in the win over the Kings, and then 30 points tonight.
Good game for Mikal Bridges, man. I know this is your player of the game, and I would go a little differently. In all honesty.
All right. Well, we'll finish your taking Mikal, and then give me your play of the game.
But look, Mikal, excellent game tonight, man. With all the trade talks out there, the lack of aggression, the inability to like at times look locked in on the defensive side. Tonight, I thought he gave you a really good overall performance. You know, not the lockdown defender on like in isolation that you want. However, what he was doing outside of the offense was being a good off-ball defender, just jumping the passing lanes. How many times did you see that tonight where he's just either getting a deflection or just getting the steal and then causing that turnover to lead to a Knicks score on the other end? Mikal Bridges giving you two-way play tonight. And then offensively, look, we saw at the beginning of the season, you know that he could be an efficient bucket. That's why it gets a little frustrating when he kind of settles. He doesn't assert himself. Tonight was a night where he needed to assert himself, and he did do so. When you have a struggling Cat and Brunson, excellent game for Mikal Bridges.
It's in him. It's in him. But he's another guy. It's like, man, like, you know, you got to read the room. And that's one thing that OG does well. I talked about that switch with OG. Deuce has that switch. Like, you don't even have to tell them to go off. When they get the rock in their hands, they are going for it. Turnovers be damned. They're going for it. With Mikal, it's like, bro, like, every night you could be doing this for your team. Every night.
Could be.
So,
but I'm glad that you said that name, CP.
Yeah,
I'm glad that you said OG.
Let's talk about it.
Because that's my player of the game, okay?
All right. Let's talk about it.
And look, I get that Bridges was consistent throughout the entire night. Gave you a good two-way performance. You also know who gave you a great two-way performance? OG Anunoby. We talked about it earlier. Got you 6 steals, 2 blocks, so 8 stocks, no turnovers, 5 assists, and then he gets you 26 points. 26 points. 11 to 18 from the field, 2 of 6 from downtown. When you were looking for an answer, when you didn't have your 2 offensive hubs going, and that's what you said it, CP, you need somebody who's just going to take the bull by the horns and say, you know what, I'm going for it. And that's what OG did tonight. The drives, the dunks, the shooting, everything that you needed, okay? Yeah. And he heard the comments probably yesterday on KFTV where he can't dribble, doesn't have a dribble package. He's like, all right, man, let me show you something. I'm going back to my old stomping grounds real quick, all right? Let me show you why you traded for me. You got RJ and Quick out there. I'm going to make light work of this situation. And that he did, man. And he was the leader tonight, I think, offensively. Yes, Bridges has the 30 points. I think the 26 is not really doing OG justice because you needed somebody just to get everyone going, to be the aggressor, to match the energy of the Raptors, who were doing the same thing that OG was doing, getting downhill, playing physical, knocking down shots early. He did just that to keep up with that same energy, man. And I felt slowly that trickled through to the rest of the Knicks, helping Josh Hart lead that third quarter, breakaway. And then from there on out, man, it was easy sailing for this team. So OG is going to be my player of the game.
There it goes. All right, well, what do you guys think in the chat, man? You going with Alex? Are you going with me? Who is your player of the game? CP and Alex cooking. Let's get to the key stats. We're loading them up right now. Back-to-back wins on back-to-back nights, Al. That's a win for us, man. That's a win.
Absolutely.
That's a win for KFTV, man.
No doom and gloom.
No doom and gloom. We can talk about happy things.
It could feel like, what was it? What would you say earlier in the season? Summer League vibes?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We here, man. Look at us. Okay. Knicks shoot 50% from the field tonight, 37 from 3, 38 and 27 respectively for the Raptors, 27 from downtown. Knicks, again, pretty good from the charity stripe, 83%, only missing 3 free throws. Raptors at one point had like 29 free throw attempts to like the Knicks like 10. So the Knicks did catch back up on that. But Knicks shooting 83% from the charity stripe. Raptors 86. 48 to 43. The Knicks win on the battle of the boards. 32 to 20. They win on the assists. So 32 assists to 45 made field goals. Great job by the Knicks there. I mentioned the stocks, the steals, and the blocks. 18 turnovers. 17 turnovers did the Knicks force, but the Raptors had 20 turnovers that led to 20 Knicks points. Knicks still had a lot, though. 18 turnovers led to 21 Raptors points. Fast break battle was tied 16 apiece. Points in the paint now, 60 to 38. Great job there by the Knicks. And then largest lead of the night, 27 to 12. Knicks led 32% of the time to 67 for the Raptors. It's a good win. It's a good win by the Knicks, man.
Very good win by the Knicks. And I think the one that stands out for me tonight is the 12 steals, CP. The 12 steals by the New York Knicks is the thing that stands out tonight, just because this is a good Raptors team, a good young team. You know, they like to get out in transition and attack. I thought they did a good job and just forcing by keeping up with the pace of the Toronto Raptors, man, generating steals, getting out in transition, keeping up with a young running team. I'm going to look at the steals, man, as a big impactful night for this one, considering that the Raptors like to play that possession game, and they were able to disrupt their possessions by getting a lot of turnovers. So that's the one that stands out to me for tonight. Outside of the, great shooting from the field, 50% is really good, man.
Yes, it was. I'm gonna go with the total turnovers, man. With the stocks. I'm gonna go with the stocks. I think that it's a much needed area for the Knicks defense to improve. And yeah, Wingstop will certainly lead the way on most nights, especially with OG. He will lead the way on most nights. But other guys have to get involved as well. And so tonight, as I said, you had Karl with a block, Jalen with a block. You had Josh get a couple steals as well. So, those things to me, those are the things that when Mikal talked about the energy picked up, those are the things that pick up the energy for the entire team. And now you're getting easier buckets in transition. Now everybody's high-fiving and doing the celebrations and their sellies and all of that. All of that factors into it. But I just think it's so important for this team, for their psyche and their confidence, to start on the defensive end with their effort and turning the other team over. That's what teams do to the Knicks. When the Knicks get in trouble, the Knicks have to return the favor, but it has to be in their mindset. They have to have that mindset every night, especially going into the playoffs. But tonight, very impressive, man. 17, 12 steals, 5 blocks. Those were good stats tonight, man. Turnovers out. All about the turnovers, man.
All about the turnovers.
Yeah.
I'm confused, bro. I'm confused. I'm confused, CP Alex, man. Just like Knicks Fix just said, man, it's the inconsistency, bro. Like, what team are we gonna get from one night to the other, right?
Yeah.
Like, if I knew for a fact that Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby are gonna bring it the way they did in that second half defensively, because the game changed, bro. With like 9 minutes to go in that third quarter, it was a blanket, bro. And it was just OG and Mikal's pressure on the ball, right? Fighting over those screens and just getting their hands in the passing lanes, getting out into transition. It totally flipped the game.
Yes, it did.
Everybody followed suit defensively. When those dudes create that pressure, it changes for the whole team. You see it, right? Everybody starts hustling and diving on the floor. And it's our offensive efficiency, and even Josh shot the ball well tonight. Our offensive efficiency is always going to be predicated on what we do defensively. And that's what totally flipped that game, so that the inconsistencies, bro, it's just like, what are we going to get from night in, night out? Like I said, if we're going to get this from OG and Mikal every single night, defensively and transitioning to offense, I'm not making the trade. I'm not doing it. Cat, on the other hand, guys, help me. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I don't know either, man. He's got to get right, bro.
Yeah, bro. Cat is like, I like Cat. Like, I feel like we can win with him, but it's almost like, I think a lot of time it's like an effort thing with him, where it's just, he just plays lazy sometimes, where like he doesn't make winning plays.
That's right.
It's like, yeah, you'll see him, it's a little 20 points, 14 rebounds, a few assists, a block. But where's the plays that you don't see on the stat sheet? You don't see those. You don't. Where's the effect on a basketball game that you don't see on the stat sheet, right? Like KG, Kevin Garnett back in the days. You know, he affects the game in ways, or even Josh Hart in ways that you won't, if you didn't watch the game and you just looked at the stat line, you wouldn't even know the effect that these guys have on some of these games.
Yeah,
And I
true
don't
indeed.
see that from Karl-Anthony Towns.